Alright, hello everybody. So today I'm doing something different. Today is just kind of like an update on things, because I'm going to be, switching directions, because I think I've covered a pretty good portion of the emergency update that I was, um, um, working on with Bricks, because I noticed that, um, kind of like it seems like we're going to be going into this gold standard and the currency reset is kicking in right now. Okay, so first I'm going to go over my videos or my new plan of action for this um, channel. So we're on my YouTube page. So, okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be still doing the bricks videos. We're not done with those yet. Next week will actually be a brick video. Um, because that's my main thing that I'm researching. So, um, but after that video, that bricks video, which will be next Monday with bricks part 43, um, I'm going to start doing this one right here because now I realize I didn't really realize the purpose of why I was doing this, but now I realize the purpose of why I was doing the Uniting America thing. And the first one I started with was criminal justice reform. Okay, so in this Uniting America kind of thing I'm doing, I'm gonna really think about America's problems. And in thinking about America's problems, um, that's going to be saved for another novel that I'm writing. And that novel that I'll be writing is going to be called My Plan to Save America. And basically, what I'm doing is I would like to see America transition from what I call the Old Testament to the New Testament. Um, because the Old Testament was basically based on, revenge, taxation, and all this other stuff. Um, Whereas the New Testament more like focuses on love and forgiveness and uniting humanity. And so that novel's basically I'm going to create humanitarian capitalism. Maybe we call it virtuous capitalism. I don't want to call it conscious capitalism because somebody's already done that, and it like it leads more to socialism. So the thing that I want to do is I want to show that we can still be a capitalistic society, but the main driver instead of war should be humanitarian aid, and helping fix a lot of the problems that essentially our stupid government created in the first place. Because that's what governments do. Governments create the problem, and then they provide the solution, and the solution they provide is pretty fucked up. So I want to undo all that, um, and that's going to be the purpose of this book. And that's going to be because the books that I have planned out, I got, I'm hoping to publish Lilith, Adam and Eve, The Dark, the Gray, the Light, in July. I think I can be done with that in July, if not August, but I'm trying to get that out in July. And then after that, I got my future 2030 novel, and um, future 2030. What's the one after that? Oh yeah, the one after that is Searching for Tartaria. And then I'm gonna do My Plan to Save America. And then I might take a little break from writing fiction after I get those 4 books done. Because I need a little recoup time to get my mind all up to more creative. I don't want to burn myself out. I'm doing a lot right now. If you want my first novel, I will put the link in that description. I'll cover it at the end of the video too. Okay, so basically, so then next week, I'll have another Bricks video, and then I'll go back, then I'll begin right here with Uniting America again, and I'll talk about another problem, and then I'll do another Bricks video, and then I'm gonna come back to going into executive orders, because we definitely need to look at Trump's executive orders, especially with what's going on with the economy. And then I'm gonna do another Bricks video, and then I'm going to go to do probably a poetry video, or if I feel like doing a sample reading, I might do a sample reading from my new chapter as well. So now I want to talk about basically what I feel like is going on. So okay, so right here I put a lot of things in. Okay, so I'm going to explain this. Okay. This right here was when we started to wake up, or more people started to wake up. This was an important date. Okay? Now, this is excluded from the 4 years off. Alright? Back when Biden was in office, I thought this scenario right here was going to happen. But I believe this scenario right here, the top scenario, the spring, the summer, the fall collapse, I was thinking I was 4 years off. Maybe I was kind of like 3 to 4 years off. So that's what we're looking for right now. Is this part right here. Okay? The spring, the summer is supposed to be hot, and the fall is probably when the economy is going to really, really start to collapse, leading into the depression of 2026. Okay? Which means if this is right, okay, the 2022, that means the year of 2026 will be the great pain, sorrow, and resurrection. Not as in Jesus, but as the beginning of there might be hope. Now, this, I could be the 4 years off, but it could be 3 years off. So this scenario right here could be 2026, and this could be 2027. I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure that and then I'm pretty sure though this right here is definitely for 2028. Okay? Because this by this time we should know who the Great Uniter is. Alright? So, there's a collapse, there's a great pain and sorrow, and then there's America coming back. Okay. This right here, scenario 2, Security United, I added those to give people a clue of where to look for, which was in that paper that I talked about for the global depression of 2026 to 2035. Now, in this global depression, the United States is going to be suffering for a good 2 years, which is why I talked about the great pain, sorrow, and resurrection, because we got to go through the great pain and sorrow before the resurrection. This is not my plan. My plan's completely different. But I'm just trying to guide y'all through this, okay? And I see gold and silver coming up, okay? I do think, to me, this would be the smart play. You know a war is coming. You don't want to go to war on a gold standard because then you devalue gold. So, they're going to pump Bitcoin up. And I believe they're going to end up eventually selling the reserve and reevaluating gold. Because gold at Fort Knox or wherever it is they're keeping it, the United States has it valued at $42 an ounce, when gold is actually like $3,500 an ounce. So that's a pretty big difference. And if they reevaluate gold and sell the Bitcoin reserve, because Bitcoin's going to be useless in the future, then the United States can pay down some debt. Why do I say Bitcoin's going to be useless in the future? Okay, to understand why Bitcoin's not going to be the future, or cryptocurrency at that matter, just take a look at my BRICS videos. Quantum computers will hack the blockchain, and quantum computers are creating a better security that basically hides things in its own dimension that it can create. So, it's going to render blockchain useless, quantum security, and then they're going to eventually come out with the quantum internet, which is going to allow the internet basically will be traveling through like wormholes in order to connect to you. Kind of like, think of a Wi-Fi wormhole or something like that. But the internet's about to get like a hell of a lot faster. Anyway, the quantum world is going to be completely different. And I'm not necessarily against the quantum world, but there are things that I think we need to watch out for. Yeah, and there's definitely things we need to watch out for. But that is hopefully something I'm going to set people on the right path when I write that novel to save America, which I do hope, I'm hoping to have that out next year, because it needs to be out. Hopefully people will read it, because it's going to have a lot of great ideas. This is something I've thought about for a long time. Because here's the problem. I mean, we're just still playing the same system and the same games. We need to change that. And I have a path to actually create change, and create change for the better. I'm not trying to be a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I just want to be a writer. I don't want power, okay? I'm putting it out there so somebody who does have influence and power can be wise and actually put the United States and the world on a very good path. They gotta have their consciousness levels up, and I can help with them with that. I'd rather be a behind-the-scenes person than the person out there in front. Now, for some reason, I have the opportunity and I get the influence and the popularity to actually do something politically. I would take that offer up. I'm not scared, and I know what needs to be done, but I'm not at that point. But somebody else can be. And if they, like I said, if they have the right mind, they can do the right things and change us around. And I know exactly how to get that done because that was what my degree and what my research focused on. It wasn't necessarily this, but the process accomplishes that goal. And somebody needs to do something because we need to get, we are on the right path. Like everything that's going on, this is all supposed to happen. There's been no timeline switch or anything like that. Um, I don't see that. I mean, everything's still on the same timeline that I read in 1998. You know, none of that's changed. I don't know what everybody else sees, but from the timeline that I know, we're on the good timeline, okay? So I want people to know that we are on the good timeline. This chaos will end soon. Yeah, there's a world war and all that stuff. Unfortunately, that has to happen. I'm not for that, but unfortunately, that was the path that we all chose. Okay, and you gotta take responsibility. That's like the first step in changing things is knowing that, hey, look, we're fucking up, okay? Alright, we do make decisions collectively, whether people want to acknowledge that or not. But if we're on a certain path, it's because that's the path we've collectively chosen. Now, we can always put ourselves on a different path. And that's what I'm calling everybody's attention to. So, you know, if you do like me and you do think I got good ideas, then let other people know because I'm trying to get all this spread. Like consciousness is literally like a virus. If we keep on doing this, things will break through. Don't give up on hope. Don't ever surrender. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Don't compromise yourself, okay? You know, that just leads to mistakes. Do not compromise yourself. Alright? And I'm not perfect. You know, back in my younger days, I did. Like when I was 18 and 19, there was a situation that I faced really, really hard, and I thought that there was an easy way out of it, but there wasn't an easy way out of it. My easy way ended up causing me more pain and trouble. Actually, it's still affecting me to this day. You know, I've been facing the great pain and sorrow since about 2002. Alright? But that was my own doing. But I am coming out of that. Slowly, but for surely. But it's the reason for my PTSD. And it's something I don't really like talking about. Not at the moment. Maybe someday in the future. Maybe it'll be in my book. You never know. But but that's what I just want to let people know the direction that I'm going and everything like that. With everything that I'm taking, I'm giving updates and um and oh yeah, there's an ice age coming. The Earth has moved. The weather's changing. By 2045, I think we're gonna start feeling it, especially if the sun goes to minimum, like the grand minimum. Um, and I think it's going to be the big ice age, not the 200-year ice age. But it could be a 200-year ice age, then a little bit of warming, and then we just freaking go straight into the whole big ice age. But I don't know. But don't expect in like 50 years that there's going to be like all these glaciers and stuff like that. That'll take time. That'll take time. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, vertical farming is something people need to start researching. That is definitely a solution we got to talk about. Um, but I think I explained this good enough. but we're going into the global currency reset. We're going into the Depression, and we're going into World War III. Other things that I look out for is I know a president dies, and it's not the Great Uniter, or at least I thought a president died. So I don't know if Trump makes the end of his term, and I don't really know how he dies. If he does, he may not, but I don't think he has much long to live, and it could be from natural causes or stress, because I imagine he's under a lot of freaking stress right now. And if that is true, then that means Vance decides not to run for president. But the next president is supposed to be young. That's what we're looking for. First, we're looking for somebody young. So we're looking for somebody in their 30s and their 40s who has a good upbeat message. But I'll tell you when we get there. I'll let you know who I think it is. And then if Elon Musk creates a new party, I'm okay with that. I think they should, because I think if they create a new party, I think the Democrats will go away. And I think that's really the play right there. To create a new party for people to go to besides the independents, because we know the independents are just probably as corrupt as the Democrats. So that would finish the whole thing, what I was talking about before, where I was talking about one party will fall, one will rebuild, and a new party will rise. Now, I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be a brand new party, but it looks like that might be a possibility. But who knows? I could be wrong about that too. I could have misread those documents in 1998. You know, it seems like I did misread the documents a little bit in 1998, but it was also kind of hard to tell where I was in time, because it wasn't like this happens in 2020 and blah blah blah. I just had presidents to go by, and when it came to the 2020 election, the author did say that got stolen, and I thought that when he talked about Trump coming back, I thought that meant that he was back in office. I guess I was wrong on that part. And it's also been, what, since 1998, since I read that, over 20 years. And I just have my memory and some things I wrote poetically, and some, I also kind of just created things in my mind to remember it, like the whole one party will fall, one will rise, and one will rebuild. You know, like, had to create things like that in my head in order to keep the memory of that through all this time. And I didn't think it was going to come true when I first read it. So I know what to look for. And I'm trying to figure this whole puzzle out too. So I just want to keep you guys informed about that. But this is what I believe is going on. Remember, I'm about 3 to 4 years off on these dates, okay? And one of these dates could cover 2 years, especially this one right here, I imagine covers 2 years. Alright? But this one, yeah, this is when people should have woken up, okay? But not a lot of them did, and now we're in clown world. Alright, but anyways, just laugh it off. Remember, this has been a message from the emergency broadcast system. But anyway, this is where I'm gonna leave everything off. Oh, yeah. So I'll post the link to my novel in the description below. It's or if you just want to, you can go to my Twitter page. I mean, it's right here. Alright. I do plan on having it come out. My new novel hopefully will come out next month, hopefully. But we'll see. If there's any delays in that, I'll let you know. But other than that, y'all have a good one. I will talk to you later. If you have any questions, just let me know. Um, I love comments, so I mean, go for it. Whether it's here on X or YouTube or Open Diary, Prosbox, Rumble, wherever. Doesn't. It's all good. But anyway, y'all have a good one, and I will see you guys next Monday. We're keeping Mondays right now because I like Mondays doing this. And this has been a Jester production. A wonderful update. And y'all, ladies, gentlemen, aliens, and extra-dimensional beings, you all stay safe, okay? And have a little fun. But not, like, fun that harms other people. Okay, extra-dimensionals? Alright, but other than that, I will see you guys next week. Boo.